Okay, guys, so a quick video I want to make um, just to get it out there, but I'll elaborate on it more later. The thing is, so I just found out. So there's a video I just finished maybe about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes ago, maybe. And it's loading as we speak. It's about canceling out evil eye that I sent back to people. Well, returns to senders that I sent to people who were evil eyeing me and sending me evil wicked energy, and I said I cancel out all those return to senders I did and send them peace. And then I felt the energy like within 2 minutes shift. So anyways, I wanted to share this because in the middle of that video I feel like some people can feel the change, because the first video I made before I deleted it that was similar to to that video, because I was dragging on a topic for like 3 to 4 minutes, on my character, about me being someone who's naturally, the essence of my character, of my personality, is a kind, peaceful person. But after going through all the things I've been going through, like with the community stalking and the orchestrated blockages and blackballing, it made me hard hearted for a moment, for some time, because I was allowing the hurt to turn into an intense anger, the pain to turn to intense anger, and then be frustrated all the time. But yeah, I was realize I had messed up on that video, and I didn't want to drag that out for too long. So what I did was delete it and restart it. And then on the second one, I realized there was this really intense negative energy that I can feel like being emanated towards me. Like it was strong. I don't it was so intense that you could almost imagine if somebody astral projected to my house, or if they sent an entity or some spirit to here. It's almost like I could feel the evil wickedness around it, next to me, but it wasn't in me though. It was around or next to me, but only on my left side, like around. And that's why in the video I slightly kind of paused, because I was like, what is that? And it wasn't me. So I got, after I finished that video, what I did, and I noticed that even my dream catcher, that I have at the room door right there, was even turning into the room to face the room when I felt that negative energy. The heater is on right now, so but look, it turns on its own at different areas. I found out it's because it picks up on negative energy and transmutes the energy. So when it does that, I pay attention to the angles that it goes to on its own, because it's not, the air could be blowing on the same, in the same direction for an hour, and it all of a sudden it'll be being still in one area, then it will start turning. So I just wanted to show that, because some people be like, "Oh, it's just a draft, that's why." But it could be completely dead silent in here with no air on, but all windows closed. I promise you, I could put something under the front door where there's no draft coming in here. Close the bathroom door, put something on it, and it will still move on its own. And literally, I guess I don't know. I was gonna say the mantra, but it's that pattern in it with the eyes all around it, like the Ophanim angel, Thrones angel, Will's angel. Um, yeah, it transmutes energy. So the thing is, I tried to find out who was sending that negative energy, and I got the yes card. So the first person, it's it said the law, I said the law enforcement, I said informant. It might be an informant that works with somebody that, but anyways, I'll figure that out later. Law enforcement. So I said, is it the police department? It said a dry yes, and to me the dry yes is just a plain yes without the exclamation mark. So when I get the exclamatory one, that's when I know it's like, okay, I got it. That's like a more accurate answer. But the thing is, it's not really the police department per se. It's more so it was DHS that was emanating that evil, because I asked, was it a person? And I kept getting, no, there's something better, there's something better. So I said, okay, is it this, is it that? Then when I said, is it DHS? It said yes, baby, it said yes. And then I was like, okay, because I got a yes for my family as well. I was like, because I asked who was working, is there somebody that works at DHS that tried to lie on me or something? And I got no. And then the something better, I think something better came out, I'm not quite sure. I can't remember at this moment, but what I do know for a fact is that I asked, was my family working with DHS to orchestrate lies, like to stick so that something, I guess they wanted me to lose my son and have my life be crumbled and fall. Guess what? I got this yes card again. So I know that for a fact my family got some shit to do with this shit, because, and I'm sorry I said it that way, but it's so disappointing when you feel like you could trust your family for all these years. I was just thinking about that yesterday, about how part of the reason why I'm not where I wanted to be. I blame myself though, because I found out I'm the one who turned my back on God. I was trying to find out what were all the things that I did wrong that made me stick around people like my family, even though I wasn't exactly like them. I was the black sheep, but I still was like trying to fit in with them and get them to accept me and stuff. But I should have just put my heart and trust in the Most High. And 555 when I said that, when I looked down at the timer. But the thing is, I'm doing that now. Like at times I struggle. You know how it is when you backslide. Like you, when I say backslide, it's like you're on the right path. Then all of a sudden something happens in life and it kind of takes you off track, and you start going towards like worldly things that aren't so grand, to that aren't conducive to a productive lifestyle. So, anyways, the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is because yesterday morning, today is, I believe, June 18th, 2024. Yeah, it's Tuesday at 3:30 a.m. Tuesday, June 18th. I'm about to go to sleep, y'all. Don't worry. It's just that my son, I got him in the bath, and when I finally got a couple hours of peace, I was able to like meditate and feel sleepy again. And thanks to being blackballed from working at jobs, I don't have to worry about getting up early in the morning to go to work. This is my work, what I'm doing right now, and I'm doing it technically for free, but the Most High pays me in different ways, and so does my Orisha and my angel, my answers, my angels. I mean, I said angel answer, but the thing is, guys, I found like yesterday morning on the 17th, I woke up and all of a sudden it's like I had this deep realization. Like I've thought of this stuff before, but then I was thinking about how the people, the companies, okay, I kind of wrote it down. So the new form of slavery, I wrote it here on this little book here, like just jotted down some memories. 7:33 on the clock. So I can finish investigating the stuff I was saying, because it started off with me upset, complain, not upset, but I was realizing the reality of these grown ass men wearing these freaking uniforms, driving around harassing people to give them tickets for not having a plastic card. And then that's what made me start thinking outside the box even further about how that's basically slavery, because some rulers, that's basically the people that are trafficking, that help traffic, that so basically it might not be the officers, at least not all of them, trust me, there are some of them that's doing it, but it's not the officers who's doing it, because they're just actors, they're paid actors. And why I say that is because the police department are basically the people who are trafficking the drugs and the guns and stuff. Who has them besides the military? So it's almost say like if the mob had a police department, they laundered their money through an organization that they created as a police department, and on the in the public eye, they're the police department. Behind the scenes, they're the top dog drug dealers and the gun traffickers. And DHS, in essence, DHS, their business is in the form, in the public's eye, to deceive you. They are the people who help people help. And I'm not saying that they don't do these things, like they don't do what their organization stands for, because there's people like myself and others that I've met who actually work for those companies, and because their heart is good, they have a more pure heart than the people that organize that institution. They actually do what the company says that it stands for. The problem is the people who created it is just a facade. They don't. Well, I was about to say they don't want me to say this because I was. Anyways, um, so for instance, I was thinking about that. It all started for me realizing how stupid this BS is about them pulling people over for a fucking piece of plastic card, just because the Supreme Court, a building that they created, some group of crooked ass people put slapped some shit together and said, "This is the Supreme Court. You must abide by what we say." So I wrote down that basically this is just an idea, guys. This is not like me saying this is what it is. But I was told to share this idea 10:10 when I said that, looking at the clock. But I said basically this was the new form of slavery, and how I got confirmation to share this is because when I was saying it and the windows were open, the train bells were going off at different points of my outward conversation I was having, of these thoughts that I was spewing out of my mind, out of like realization of the stupidity of some of the things that happen in this matrix simulation in the world, and how some people are so in a deep sleep they just think that they're basically the NPCs that are easily controlled, because they don't think for themselves. They let other people think for them. It's easier that way. They don't have to put much thought or energy into living. They just exist blatantly. So anyways, the new form of slavery is basically some people creating some laws that they want you to abide by. Say like for instance, they got a group of men, 7 men, and said to us, you can't do this, or your organ you can't create this organization to do this unless we have a bill or a law that's signed off by these 7 men that we elected. And of course, they know they're going to get their way because they already have an agreement with those 7 men. And those 7 men already have fear and know what's going to happen to them if they break that agreement. So, of course, they're going to do whatever the people who put. See, I hear a bell out there already. It's not even 4 o'clock in the morning. But y'all can't hear it, but I hear it outside because I live by the Max train. But, and it usually doesn't start to around 4 or 4:30 in the morning. But, anyways, I heard some type of ringing noise. But anyways, guys, so I was just saying that, say like if they say that though, because those 7 men that they gathered up, that they themselves elected, and trust me, they ain't gonna just like, if one man stands alone by himself, he wants to fit in with this group so he can look like somebody and have some sort of status in society. He can look like a man to be uplifted and exalted in whatever way that his position is to be exalted, so he can feel like he's someone great. Not saying that they aren't. They know how to play their part and be polite, kind men who play the part of being the family man who loves kids and takes his kids to football and baseball games and send them to the best collegiate, prestigious schools, and have them doing all sorts of activities. Not saying these people are bad people. It's just I'm trying to like say like the facade of it all. I see through bullshit like that. And some people literally genuinely are good-hearted men who see their job the way that I used to see working at particular jobs. Like it's a job. I'm supposed to do the best job at in this position that I'm working. But sometimes people don't realize like you're just an actor to help keep up the facade of who the organization really is. That's basically what I was trying to get to. For instance, police departments, they the ones who's trafficking and doing all that shit. I'm talking about like the drugs and stuff. That what how I figured it out is because say like if 2 people were traveling on the road speeding and the officer happened to have a bias to and be prejudiced to one ethnicity of person versus the other, even if they weren't necessarily white like he is white, or Caucasian like he is Caucasian. If one is black or African American and the other one is, let's say, Asian or Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, he might go after the black one because in society they're programmed to think of the black one being the worst of the worst. So he lets the speeding Mexican go, even though the speeding Mexican was behind the African American. But because he has a personal bias, prejudice, he decides to go skip the Mexican dude or Latino, whoever they are, and go for the black person because he knows that the people who created those organizations are going to stand by him anyways, regardless of what he does, because that's mostly what their organization represents, because they have a lot of those people who work there, obviously, and they don't do anything about it. They cover it up and sweep it under the rug. So essentially that man, that's what made me realize like this is a new form of slavery, because if an officer can choose, pick and choose who he decides to give a ticket to, but the law says if this person is speeding on this roadway and they don't have that plastic card or the insurance from our other agencies that we approve to be in place, that to follow, what I'm trying to say, guys, like they all they created a company, they created a business organization. Like, I'm just saying the Supreme Court, I'm not disrespecting the Supreme Court, I'm just using it as an example. Like some people or some entities, whatever you want to believe, gathered some idea to go create a business with a building, and said this building is the highest building of the land, and you must respect the laws and regulations and rules that come out of this building, that we sign off from these seven men that we elected ourselves, and pretend that you elected them, but we already knew who was going to be elected, and we actually orchestrated it psychologically for you to choose the person we want you to pick. If we don't like it, and if the majority shows, because these people lie a lot, they lie all the time, that's why you have to use discernment. You can see the games that are being played. Some people choose to turn their head and have a blind eye, like they don't see. And I know that because my family, they are very intelligent people, but I found out yesterday they choose to use their intelligence for evil instead of good. And they let them tell you that lie about there not being good and evil all you want. I feel like that's part of the deception. Bull, you know what. So I just don't believe that. I used to, they almost got me when I said, well, maybe wicked is good, because if we didn't have the wicked, we wouldn't know the good. But that doesn't mean that the wicked is good, though. In some ways, it can be good, like teaching us lessons, but it's not the things that are wicked that's happening and being done and tolerated is not good. It's not good. Because if it was like, why does it seem like it's so much wicked and not so much good? I'm not explaining that very well, but it puzzles my mind. Like, if Wicked was really good, how come we're able to decipher the difference? 1717, when I looked at the clock and said that. How come we're able to tell a difference? It's a spectrum, I feel, but one is more harsh or intense than the other, I guess. Like, I guess it's an opposite pole of each other. I don't know. But I'm not God, so I don't have those answers. I don't have all the answers. That's part of what makes God the most high. Nobody is higher than the most high God. That's why I'm doing this, because I don't care what they do. They're not the most high. The Supreme Court, the people who make these created laws to fool us and play these bullshit games, they are not the most high. Why should I be afraid of them? They do wicked shit all the time. They are corrupt. They set people up who are good-hearted people and let the bad guys get off half the time. And when I say bad, I'm talking about, say, like, I actually seen it happen with my own eyes. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I seen a Freemason get off on some shit he should have got in trouble for, but other people who weren't Masons, who were actually Caucasians, might I add, they got a worse consequence for stuff they did than this raggedy, ashy black country, careless, ruthless black man that was a Freemason, a Scottish Rite Freemason at that. At least he knew them. He was associated with them. I don't know for sure if he was the Scottish Rite, but that's who the people he was associated with. And I'm saying that because a white witch, a lady, not a white witch like white magic, but a Caucasian female witch told me they don't let black people in there. But I'm like, girl, that must be old news, because he sure was. I seen it with my own eyes. They stood up and saluted him in the court, and they saved him for last, so other people couldn't see. But because I was with him, they didn't care. They probably thought I was family. So, and my granddad was a Mason too, so I already seen some of the signs he used to do, and I remember them. But anyways, guys, I was told to share that idea mostly so people can start thinking a little different, to wake up and realize that things aren't always as they seem. so that you can stop making fun of the people who are actually going through things that sound like it's on a movie, because that's where they actually make the movie ideas, they get the movie ideas from. And it kind of hurt me a little bit yesterday or the day before yesterday, because I realized, it dawned on me that half of the movies that we probably watched in the last decade or two probably were real movies. And I'm talking about the scary movies where killings happen and people were murdered and raped. They probably live streamed it, and it looked real because it was real. Just like I think I got that idea from Miss Spiritual Advisor LLC when she said snuff films, and I didn't know what those films were. But one time she was speaking on how they taped it alive, and then it dawned on me some of the movies that I remember my family watching in the past. I'm like, how could you people sit here and just binge watch these gruesome movies like this? It didn't sit well in my spirit. Even some of the movies I tried to fit in with my family, so I would sit there and watch it, but it always like agitated me later on. It bothered me, and I don't like feeling that way. I like to feel free and relaxed, like I enjoyed what I just watched. Or if it's an action movie, even if it has killing, it's not like, it's like something there's a demonic energy and presence around some of those movies, and you could tell. um well, anyways, and I'm not saying all the movies are real. I'm just saying that to you guys so you can get an idea, to know that, to that sometimes things are made to look one way in your in the front of your face, like in the public, but it's actually something else. Or it's made to look fake but it's actually real, or it's made to look real but it's actually fake. Like, it's made to look like these organizations out here give a damn, but they really don't. Because if they did, why is the world as in a pitiful condition that it's in, if the top people are really doing what they said they're supposed to be doing? It's not enough for them doing it, obviously. Right. Right.